I used to struggle with it, and now I just head and shoulders every walk. If you get the active ingredient in head and shoulders, you stop flakes where they start, leaving your scalp feeling healthy and flake-free.
On page 1, who am I? You are a gold star. He's not smart inside man. Hockey is quite a big fan of team. And got himself a nice little extension for his client. Ivan Davidoff, 8-4 years at 9.15 first. That's $9 million. That's right.
Should have fired him.
Like, everyone on the Montreal Suzuki makes 7.875. Caulfield makes 7.85. Kovakovsky makes 7.6. Davidoff just signed for 9.125. Dobson, Lane Hudson, 8.85. They're all getting it wrong. All concepts. That's great. And here's the thing, extension doesn't kick in until next season. So the Montreal Canadiens still have $2.2 million left.
It's funny, if both of you fix it this, because he makes $940,000, you just see him starting with $150 zero.
That's what we did. Yeah, see your reaction? That's even though we continue to make that, oh, God, with how I do it.
You guys had the wrong member of the SCP.
Yeah, that's an announcement, yeah. They're, like, honestly, like, if this Matthew Caper doesn't exist, this guy probably wouldn't be called a trophy. If you lock him up 20 goals last season, unbelievable start to his career for Davidoff. And, like, this is a healthy number, and all of their dollars that speak out on Johnny that really healthy numbers, and as the salary cap goes up, just feel that only going to get better, it's only going to get better as a player. I think Montreal is setting themselves up for a where nobody is unreasonably paid, which is an unreal feat in the salary cap era. Because usually you have to slow the anchors on your book, but when you look at all of the guys they're committing to long term, you're like, how do y'all get that? And they're going to get happy. Yeah, and they're going to continue to spend. And if you want to look at it this way, like the lining skills that came off the book, this is where they allocated that money then. Yeah, they even have that free money to still work with this. So they thought they were going to be last year with that quote anchor there. This is now where that money is going, and they're still that good of team. Now like that's going up, so they're going to have more room. But what is there to complain about with how they're handling their cap? I can't find anything to complain. They still got to resign Doc, Brett Berard, Jack Holden, Harvard Jack guy is totally. I'm sure Canadian students that have this school. Harry was really obviously the Montreal series, 89 shot in game 7. What was the game 7 shot total in Buffalo? Like, it was pretty low.
Well, I know the Tampa one was like 25 to now.
Yeah, and then Buffalo was similar, right? It was great. And he might not even get that good. Right? Like, it doesn't matter whatever. It could be about 8 prospects. Like, that is. Like, what do you say?
Like, Montebo will be coming off the book. Been an effective player because of time for like Josh Anderson. They took 5.5 and that's very comfy for them. So,
and if you look at the move in Brad Gallagher to bring up that money, and that money is only going to be on their books for this season. What is contract cost? It's right after next season. That's good move. And yeah, the setup for the future is so in every position. Yeah, and like the late Hudson deal is my favorite deal in the NHL.
he's joking, but it's also honest.
Playing to the foot to that skill. $5 for a great play by my number.
Hey, how about this prospect, guys? What do you think of this player? Left-handed center, 45 goals, 83 points, and 55 WHL games. He does have a first down to the dead. Cool. He's a right-handed defenseman. He's got a right at 45 goals. Wow. Very. And that's a regulation.
Represented that,
We don't know the name. No, we're going to Bob never heard of this. Bob never heard of this. I expect them.
Don't forget to zoom down, please. It's your adventure.
I know I've uttered in some jokes here and there. I'm trying to stay aerodynamic and not get jacked as I rank arrows of Star from worst to best. Once again, it rankings is based primarily on visuals and aesthetics of the arrows and prisoners themselves instead of their characters' power. No special enchantments and actions will be taken into consideration. Well, as always, if you find yourself enjoying the video, hit the bullseye and the subscribe and like buttons, and let us speak. Number 27, Alderman. How the Falmer has fallen. No, not really. Because they're usually on the bottom anyway. But I swear I'm not blindly throwing them here, as I genuinely think they're arrows. I'll admit a large portion of my arrow rankings could be based on how the quiver appears on the character's back or hip, if you have that on, because 99% of the time that's what you'll be staring at as you're playing third person. Like pretty much all their gear, the Palmer quiver is just plain disgusting. I think given to an extent with some therapists and bug cards, but why does it need to look furry or fuzzy with one? The appearance of the hairy or fur-like carapace is just incredibly creepy and off-putting and not something I necessarily want to see scratched to my character's back. I will say, though, that the arrows themselves are completely boring. Coloring is off-putting, but the weird crab claw-like arrowhead is very unique, not as gross as it could have been otherwise. But unfortunately for you Palmer lovers, if there are any, please don't. The Palmer arrows are tied with the Torchborn and Rusty arrows as the worst within the entire game from a different perspective as well. So again, while I don't primarily rank these lists on stats, it's just another arrow that they're featured for fun here. Overlapping furries. I'm not sure what else I can say. Number 26, Forsworn arrow. I forethought swore I wouldn't do it. But once wouldn't put Forsworn here near the bottom of the list. It just keeps returning. It's much more primitive with their gear and aesthetic. I expected Forsworn to have been very rudimentary but effective and deadly looking arrow. But they once again proved me wrong in the first place. Not only are Forsworn arrows terrible damage and stat-wise, being typed for the worst and lowest in the entire game, I think they're just extremely ugly as well. The quiver is essentially what we colored an iron arrow quiver, which I'm actually okay with. A simple, rugged, dark leather quiver goes well with most armor sets. It really doesn't look out of place, so I do give the Forsworn some little props here as it could have easily had a bunch of bones and feathers and unnecessary garbage attached to it, which made it stand out in comparison. However, what Forsworn really fails is that the arrow itself and its sharpened, food-like appearance. Okay, I get fundamentally arrows are just sharpened twigs, but the extremely basic split points of the arrowhead look extremely frail. Like it will just easily snap in my character's hand and shatter as actually being able to use. I don't doubt that actually being struck by one of these would be a really bad time. They're learning to be the lightest in armors or with particularly impressive packs may not even notice something shot. The fletchings are also underwhelming in general. I think a lot more could have been done here to make Forsworn stand out with their arrows. As it is, I'm swearing. Number 25, Amber Arrow. Once again, Amber manages to be embarrassingly awful to me with its weapons. While the actual arrows of the Amber arrows are actually pretty cool, I think they're with a quiver, and I'm never really using arrows solely because of how much I dislike that appearance. It's way too wide, with awkward, spaced-out arrows that have been naturally placed and straight up within the quiver. I'm not really sure what's exactly going on. The wide walnut shape wrapped in simple leather with a single amber gem placed off-center and the green wrap design in a massive inexplicable chunk of amber at the bottom. The entire thing is completely fails to put together. I know what we're thinking at all about, but why would you bother to then set this massive sphere of amber at the bottom of the quiver? It could probably be better utilized somewhere else given its rarity. It's beyond me. So worst of all, it's just plain. As I said though, I'm the arrows themselves, but they can't rip this terrible design much, even though it has really cool flexion. Unique tri-tone coloring, and I think with amber it takes. The simple, sharpened bit of amber can pierce most enemies and armors, but once again, there's only so much in the arrow itself. Flexion speed, just terrible. Number 44, Recruit Spear. More of a mean and really usable weapon, Recruit Spear actually counts as arrows and can be fired from a bow, which I find somehow both hilarious and fast. Out of the Dragonborn DLC, while functional as full-size spear, though wielded by the small goblin-like recruits, they turn into arrows with a much larger dragon bonus of parries. You drop off with a recruit spear, as you can imagine, is pretty drastic, but the spear itself just sort of slowly being tossed out by your bow and immediately falling to the ground. So with velocity and range being worse than any other arrow type in the game, surely must hit like a truck, right? Not really. Unfortunately, the spear is the same base damage as a steel arrow, which I find underwhelming. I think their movement is pretty good, although full spears have been greatly messed in the series since Morrowind for myself, but their appearance can't really keep up with their I appreciate their extremely look though, even if they're a little basic at the end of the day. While fun for a meme archer build the Reaping Spear, this is the one for me. Number 23, Golden Arrow. The Golden God has returned. But unfortunately in a pretty horrendous way. While I really like the arrows themselves, much like the Amber, I greatly dislike the Golden Arrow quiver in its design and execution. It's a sort of half quiver with a very round, almost like appearance. It's just kind of a tough idea on the face of it. Maybe there's some historical reference here I'm not aware of, but even still the execution is terrible. The quiver features this unnatural shininess that clashes with the wall of Skyrim, and the armor says, you know, we just really undoing this because It's almost unfinished. I mean, the textures needed more detailing, blemishes to appear more natural, which is honestly kind of a theme around the entire Golden set. And there it is. These lists are actually made. I mean, I can't even sleep without thinking about this list and all these numbers, and they just be flying into my vision. Number 22, Ancient Northern Arrows. Just because something is bold, it doesn't mean it has value. As I come to tell my grandparents daily, the Ancient Northern Arrows, however, are one of my more favorites of the Ancient Northern ear pieces, though that's not going to say that much. While they're only much lower and damage-wise, I visually they look much more menacing than some others with their relatively deadly-looking arrow heads. Nothing else so slowly kill your enemies with tetanus as you pierce them with this old, rusty piece of metal. However, the arrow itself still has that dark greenish hue that I really dislike with most Ancient Northern gear, and unfortunately carries into the quiver as well. Other than the coloring, the quiver isn't too bad as it's fairly neat and stands out with appearance. The quiver also looks like it's just way heavier than it should be, though it was used by ancient Chad Nords, so that does cram a bit. Overall, I think their golden quiver is fairly interesting. It does clash with most armor sets, and the coloring as well as most of what I make out. These arrows are probably better left in the bottom two display cover. Number 21, Iron Arrow. So, told classic, the Iron Arrow is our baseline, but when things go from kind of crappy to decent, given how simple the Iron Arrow is, like I'm trying to get rid of, want to stay. It's your basic starting equipment and the part. I've said it many times that I enjoy using simple level set features via the weaponry to juxtapose against the more fantastical and outlandish gear at higher levels. And the Iron Arrows serve that purpose well. With a basic leather quiver that looks hardy, fit for any adventure, and one that matches well with early on sets, or really any armor in the game, it gets the job done with no fuss and materials. The arrow itself is also basic, without appearing as fragile or rudimentary as the force one, with a nice effective broadhead and reflections. It's a solid arrow that can more than function into anything in the way to some degree of effectiveness. I mostly associate iron arrows with bandits and the dungeons, but even using them feels good as stealth and headshot related encounters. And that of iron arrow, let's move on to number 20, portable arrows. While the quiver is exactly the same as the iron arrows, you see the arrows from these rare Imperials long distinct appearance and fact. I can't really say they look great, but maybe this is more of what I might have pictured for the Force 1 arrows, just simple jabs of sharpened wood with relatively primitive buttons. Both bolts and their appearance are about as basic an arrow as you get, so for that I'm just sort of bundling them with the iron arrow here. I did want to note that they kind of paralyzing effect on hits, which can be pretty fun, but I'll be honest, it's very inconsistent on who what it can work on, or how resistant most enemies to. So while a fun little addition, it's interesting in how visually distinctive they are, and I'm going to use for a meaningful amount of time, so I'll put a short. Number 19, Dark Arrow. I like a bit of darkness in my life, but so encouraging dark arrows. Okay, maybe this is intentional. Dark armors and weapons have a very strong serpent or snake-like motif, with a snake even curling around the quiver here, but despite the keen attempt to the quiver, all I see is a lot of fish. That's my character back. I'm sure those are supposed to be the scales of the snake and how the fish, but come on, the flowing metal at the bottom is the back end. More of the snake is touching his mouth as the iron. The opening of the quiver as the gaping mouth is just too perfect not to notice, and unfortunately for the dark arrow, it's really all I see here. Just a big fish. That's not to say I hate the design completely, as I think the general dark reflective shininess and texture looks pretty good. The arrows have a solid design as well, with a unique puncturing and sinister looking arrowhead. The arrow is also featuring a very slight and hard to notice dark shadow arrow trail, which is a cool touch. As much as I may enjoy the darkness, there's just something too fishy going on here with the dark arrow. Number 18, Dragon Bone Arrow. Bon appetit for you bone lovers out there. As according to YouTube analytics, I do have several necromancers in my audience. I'm sorry, but the Dragon Bone arrows just don't quite hit the mark here for me. Okay, damage-wise, they absolutely do, as these things get extremely hard and have, I believe, the highest base damage for arrows within the base game. But while I can appreciate a lot about the Dragon Bone arrows, things hold it back for me. First, the quiver is sort of lazy, almost as if the designer ran out of time or forgot to actually make it. But a potentially interesting design, instead given the take something else and slap an texture on it too. It's essentially the skill arrow quiver, it's in my entertainment of a different material. As it clearly to me uses the same model and shape and pattern. I know that's probably simplifying it here a bit, but it stands out. But I think the leather texture does look quite nice. Second, and this would be a hot take, I'm not even sure. I just don't care for the three-pronged arrowhead at all. It looks like little fish bones, way too flimsy and brittle relative to its power in game. But it is unique, and maybe there's some players out there who really like the design. So all I can say is that you are completely wrong to do so, and it's a big piece of incredible. I will say, though, that the fleshings are awesome. The sort of hyper-aesthetic appearance that make them really stand out, so it's a big bonus for the Dragon Bone arrows. overall, while there is a lot to like there, the ship is a different design for this powerful but vicious. Number 17, bone. If you get bone off enough with the dragon bone, then check out the arcane archers now added bone arrows. As sinister as they sound, these arrows could be disturbing bloody skull of a dragon for its quiver. And I say disturbing because given the size of the skull, I think it's pretty good at this straight form, probably not super, but still maybe slightly innocent based dragon, which can flaunt around with on the back, without even bothering to clean the blood from a sick monster. Even the appearance of bone arrows are quite fitting, pretty much darker and clear, or even people high level character. Requiring dragon smithing these arrows probably won't be seen in a fight which require one, which doesn't make sense given their base damage to be even higher than standard dragon bow arrows. The skull looks fine, it's just sort of awkwardly strapped to an actual quiver, but once again for a specific character or armor, it would be really awesome. Giving you a terrifying dragon hunter appearance. The arrows though are shocking. So sure they have cool bloody fletchings, but the simple shaft of wood and the talent of arrow venom don't communicate bone to move at all. I would have expected arrows made forward from bones here, or to see heads like the dragon bone in some way. So while they are unique, I can't really think bone arrows are much higher. Number 16, David Barrel. I never thought it would be disappointed in the lack of heaviness with the David designs, but it's solely missing from the arrows. Where's my demonic glowing red death? Where's my continuous shriek as I fire the arrows as I steal the souls of my enemies? Disappointing lack of over-the-top ideas aside, David arrows are just kind of underwhelming for what they are. Barely stand out from the rest of the design. The quiver is sort of really basic black one, yet one that features some David letters embossed into the heavy black bolts reinforcing the quiver are a nice detail, but some of the traditional red glow or curved wicked metallic pieces of David could have been pretty badass in the quiver. The arrows also could have used some spicing up as well, maybe featuring that red glow for the fletchings instead of just simple pure black ones. However, the arrowhead needed some help. It looks like they just took the spikes of the David helmet and shrunk them down really small to arrowhead size, which is just kind of silly compared to what could have been maybe second strongest arrows of the entire base scheme with the damage they don't really look at parts need, and more otherworldly additions or enhancements to the design of the top here. I like that it's a fairly non-traditional arrowhead to reinforce the strength of origins of the weapon, but there's really nothing here that's exceptional to me, considering how unique the other David artifacts and gear are. So, it's back to the Number 16, Nordic Arrow. No ordinary weapon. Nordic arrows know their non-normal name. No picture needs you can't alone. Ice, ball, ball, arrow. Hey man, I think that's okay, not true. Solid arrow, less than my finger for sure. The overall appearance of the quiver is quite good. I like the Nordic and grand steel present with its shiny, almost modern appearance. That matches well with the Nordic sense. The stiff leather has some design details with various figures pressed into it. And I like the effort of making it usable and rugged.
Ball standing
Those stand out to me here with its extremely flat texture.
No shit, right? Throw it down there.
I can't just stare at it despite all the other cool designs. While black fur is very common and known here, other fur just sort of blends into the buttons. It actually seems like it would cause more problems with successfully drawing arrows than anything else. Although trying to keep your arrows snug warm, I guess it's a good addition. While the arrowhead in its relative simplicity looks good, the shaft is bothered me here with its thickness. I'm just now realizing the kind of way to do that. While most scenes in Skyrim are stupidly oversized, arrows are one area that should be aerodynamic, slim, and sleek. But here it almost looks like I'm back to treating with spheres. It's an odd choice to stand out near the set, but also features very distinct lines. Number 14, Orcish Arrow. But if it's a straightforward, brutal arrow, you need that Orcish is a decent fit with its signature dark blue appearance and more savage. But you may find the actual damage. Okay, it's not that crazy savage, but it's arrows. I'm working with what I've got here. I actually like the quiver of the Orcish arrows with its unique shape and harsher appearance. Heavy bullets folded together. And it definitely feels like the quiver fits more heavily like the fighter. Slim and stealthy, but large, heavy, and strong. But I find it doesn't exactly blend well into the armor sets and can signal like a sword in the front. Still, I appreciate the attempts to match it to Orcish gear and armor and wearing that particular set. I think it's a great looking quiver. The arrows also have the dark or falcon green and with sleek flares. I think given the Orcish background, making heavier appropriate. And I don't know why, I do rank this one relatively low on the list due to the disappointing arrowhead. It's just sort of basic. What could have been a heavy or blue looking broadhead that could be some serious weapon impact. A little bland for the weapon type, and I think a heavier, maybe even serrated arrowhead could have really been the second choice. And it's fair to say that simply be good with them. Number 13 is Nordic Hero. Beating up Nordic arrows being kind of a ton of the ancient Nordic this time with some polish and a new wood stain. So those involve the dotted green and North hero arrows really going to be both with the arrow itself and the trigger. Once again, the boss here, the trigger is for interesting. You might come at this like fancier armor sets if that sort of bothers you as much as it does. What helps in North hero arrows is their damage is they're actually extremely powerful, having almost the exact same base damage as Dragon Mode, so fitting for a high level Dragonborn. The arrow headlets look better here without the thrust, intricately detailed, it's almost reminiscent of the mini dragon statues in a great you can find presence throughout the game. You can see that silhouette and you split that out. The pocket iron metal on the curve though, this is my favorite experience. But overall, this is the narrow highlight. Know if you were flinging at my enemies on the parts. Number 12, the madness step. Might be insanity to make this arrow where it is, but it's maddeningly close to being great without quite being on it. All madness arrows feature the very traditional madness aesthetic on the quiver with lost eyes. You literally watch your own back and more. The general silhouette sound of the game is quite a bit. Just looks like a big weird boot, and despite the intricate details that I enjoy, I don't care for the weird toe shape near the bottom of the quiver. The texture and metallic shines and details are great, but the overall shape just isn't it for me with the madness quiver as it's just massive on the back.
Nice. What's it? I fucking great.
Arrows themselves really big spiral of down design that's given deep detail and a solid head. So nice, somewhat straightforward broadhead with a bishop.
So it's a very good fucking team. Ow. Exploring the extension. One more geared up on his extension. Okay, that's fine. Alright, he's going to need an extension as well. Okay. Or are we anywhere? They're way down there. How hard? So they're falling. I have their first round pick too, so I have Toronto as well, but they're third, so that pick's gonna be a high draft pick then. Oh well. As long as I have those good first round picks. From this with dominating. States. I don't know, bro. I don't know why they're a bad team. Yeah, I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they're such a bad team. I'm gonna sell at the deadline anyway. I'm gonna sell at the deadline. I'm gonna try to multiple first round picks or seconds for players. Oh, Christ. Oh my God, Larson. Oh, okay, that's a nice win right there. It is New Jersey. I'll take that. Well, let's see here. We are in January. I could try and push for the Rangers pick. Trade for that. Yep. Okay, it's time for selling. Oh, Rudy? Fuck. Shit. There we go. I'll take that. Oh, wow, I want to go to New York. Well done, too.
The madness here, and I would have appreciated a jagged city arrow for this one. But if I could just take these arrows and treat different trigger entirely, I would.
Yeah, I'm gonna trade my candidate deadline. I might trade Brewer too at the same time. Oh shoot. Okay, good, they're still way down there. Come on, Senti, you played a lot better than that. Oh shit, ow. Shane Wright comes in clutch again. Fuck. 3.9. Oh shoot, look at that. Go Firebirds. Nice, he was winning this Toronto. My god. And horses! German cannon 5.9. Shit, he's increasing his value. That's good. Oh my god, we're actually trying to push for a spot. How are the Bruins? Good, they're still down there. Round the Rangers are all way bottom of the league now. Good. Good. Shane Wright thought he has 2 goals already. Okay, that's fair. I will take that dominant win. He's Debbie to earn that big money contract, Shane Wright. Shit. Oh, come on. Oh my god. Ow, come on, guys. Fuck. Down in the bottom, it'll leave you then. There you go. Prisker had 2 points. Still down there. That's what I'm hoping to stay down there. I thought that you guys framing the kind of for a cultural bounty. Yes, I am managing both teams. It's playing okay. I want this guy playing now. We got him for a reason. sure. He could probably top my minutes, actually. Oh my god, hello, look at that. Let's go. See right there. Oh Christ, that's not good. Oh no, that's not good at all. Trade deadline, here we go. Shit. Shit.
What if you could retain them at the touch of your button? No more brushing or tablets. Because 4 years ago, a team of engineers believed there had to be a quicker, easier, more effective way to keep all of appliances. After scouring through the research, they discovered that in crisis, the worldwide rise of all of appliance usage, unmedicated appliances had become an epidemic, with acid-producing bacteria eroding enamel and damaging teeth, both fueling the dental disaster. So after 2 years of engineering in London, leveraging ultrasonic technology from the clinical dentistry field, we developed the first retainer cleaning machine ever.
Now, I know I've made scimitar videos to this before, but this is the sort of what I was looking forward to cutting into.
I really hope you savor this because I had to figure after being absolutely toppled by these hair-numbered swords available to the sky. The rapiers with I want to slice the doctors in a rank and sharpest one among the blades. The more double-edged Joe since this method from Santorin, one-handed sword inspired from orders to keep the best. However, visuals and aesthetics, I will once again be excluded and get some clones from this list. Although because we have a lot to cover, as always, we thought we sold the videos, I can subscribe to one. Now let's take a stab at this. Referring to force ones. That's it, it's an intent already. Video for this type of thing. Force one sword is the worst printed weapon in all of Skyrim. Little more than the United States Force one sword or something is practical language. The fact that the Force one world sells a fully armored and tactical dragon form while building this thing shows
Fucking cat.
almost borders on insanity. I thought it was just only sympathize with the Force one cause and their fight for their own liberation. This sword design alone ensures that they must all be destroyed to it. Because this state. It's an abomination. It's danger and weapon using itself. The sword is an enemy of all things created and this big. The only attraction larger than this design is the fact that it is based on the somehow has element of skill set. I believe also the real life versions of the skill sword and that force of course is two basically just sword never succeed. Everyone here on so based on your weapon, if you tell here on is it disadvantage and influence target set. Here on sword is in other worlds which elements of abomination based on slaves. In fact, that barely puts it above disgusting force one sword. Said this is by far one of the sword which is definitely the most important weapon.
Shit, great. It's not gonna fuck through. Okay, what do I need to get to stamp onto this fucking team? Be your bird.
Instead, it's a little way that appears in the state that's been operating zero understanding without these heights. The third is looking down on this, we have an incredible method so let's do this as soon as they use your weapon by law. They find some other numbers which are just awful. It is what it is, and I think sense that it's pretty funny. But see how weird this person.
Oh my god, hello. There we go. Zachary Benson on this team. Okay, I'll take that.
Because I can't make the following of sort. I won't be correct. It's a vast improvement over the following of bow and axe. Much like those that suffer from general disgusting vibes and instead of not following of big. I don't know why if parents don't get priority for making weapons and spreading together and giant bugs and fighting creatures. It doesn't even fall like the top. Let me see here. Low effort, strong, fast, and fit. It's one straight equals. It's no big. So it really is that bad, especially when compared to good growth and warrants, but the area of the health is multiple warrant fixtures and customers and stuff, and you also have the engines on the paradigm. I just don't do them back. It's playing. We're 28 mode, so what the ancient mode weapons and handicaptive break on the rankings, and they've always been consistent below. They just don't right. Well, I think the sword variant of this weapon set is better than other. It's still older design feel on there's probably a lower reason for that just to be unexpected to limited appearance that the modern static skills on that sword. Instead, if you just comes to get further into does it like storage possibly for the modernization of regardless, it's not going to be normal actually like with the design itself. But the built in here of our features creates a very awkward overall, go back to the first one. It's dim, dark, and very popular. The grid is also awkwardly small compared to the whole of the blade. There are also things to the living space. For 27 north, you also, oh yes, the north, you also resist the points of the design. And it helps a lot with the appearance of the story. The lighter tones turn up more. Now, only stand by my over the 7 comments from before, I can appreciate the art of the display. I just don't quite get over the I'm a little down with thanks to the video social clip, but it just doesn't quite show. As I say, it's a curve, so I'm sure. So, except I got learn this, we consider the modes themselves and the functional intricately designed curve, so it's going to be I like to see that it's kind of going to showcase the different discipline. In fact, there's a nice solution to accept the standard available in theory. But in practice, it's a fat curve on the blade itself is scale. And there are two similar attributes for the most part. As long as it's just slow parts of the that our blade master had created, I only know it's similar, never progressed very far at all. Two parts of the mission is by bump this and once it's not design of the other weapons and snare, ultimate, slur, 25 base. Well, that's the base, but it's yet another everlasting. That's what the scheme says. If there are good weapons, those were big ass and it's very cool, big loaded. It's serious to say, it's less than siblings. However, there's an effect that's pretty little. It does provide some very good benefits, and there's a two tools application there. Maybe I could take it.
Wow, we're about on track.
5 out of 10, we're going to go to this sword again. We're going forward to Dark Sword. It's not that it's a bit trickier, as despite the number of entries left, I think they're all pretty awesome designs. But from here on, I like to enjoy the experience of fives that follow the sword. The Dark Sword is right on the edge of what's possible. As a heavily inspired by these sort of kind of Dark Sword features
You are signing that extension, sir.
well, I don't know the look of the video, so it's in regard to what the snake is here, but the box looks profile. It just doesn't look quite as deadly as I could have thought for something called.
Yep, we get our first one with him too.
What type of so it's still sort of it's like creating something called ambulance. It's just lazy. Larger first working from the materials like weapons and armor and other skills, and the weapons start quite flavor. However, I think the sword's better than other hammer here as I can find quite a bit about it. Here in her blade, it's very realistic. I'll start, the hammer sword has a lot going for it with its design. Since the blade itself a little bit slimmer, as the general thing, but some reason it looks like a new arm. It's like this giant dagger, a sword. While I like the hammer sword, most of the favorites, the nice finishes on design, just something. The points can help in so many. The point has elements, so it's like it has other swords. That was big messy, exactly something. Good feeling, the designers of the element sword type of things. Almost element here is the best time. The design of the type of first into the metal is still a slight problems away. Sing is an absolute founder, and I'm not actually I got it out and tried to develop sort of good in my own place for so it's a pretty cool fancy blade. While I was getting buying on the factory, it's not a big confident double with the element so good and efficient for the strategy. I wouldn't have minded to see like the curve for some stuff once I probably know daggers here. All that being said, I hate the problem of this usually it's very practical and popular compared to the rest of the soul. But it's not bad. I do like how it's very technical. Overall, and the third one, Evan was so. It's not my honest take of the video yet. And taking everything very nice. I know for some it's my favorite look of the sort of it's just wrong. Sorry to inform you. This is another theory. Yeah, I really like the big adult show its design, but I think the living properly into the area above where it crossed territory with this head semblance of real. There are a lot of things to like it. Less slender, more graceful blades, very tall things, down look. There's a couple of swords, it's like curvature of the blade, design of all this is great, but it was balance and harmony. Half this weapon is made of strength, gold, and blading.
But one that had this sword blade is just a bit light. It's like you don't strike it. It's very undercut. It's still more like the boots and it's even more pronounced than obviously the person. While I want to let get this one, my heart is outside of stabbing. I just one installing. So it hurts to put my blood installing in the middle happen. But it's like the sword doesn't quite fit in the form. But per usual, I love the appearance of installing itself as this nice like front little blade. It's really badass. Cool to me. Front thing over these cross guards here. The grip follow with a nice little bit of solid on the bottom. I don't it's both these guards going to be perfect. It's completely terrible. I think it could have been much worse, but it's just not. Like you said, I still like the solid sword quite a bit. The ability to extended metal gun, it's good, it's connected with the to the guard. It's a very nice cut. As I said, the sword is, start is number 19 Imperial sword. There's a stick forward to the Imperial sword, despite it being the sword is one of the most simple and realistic standing. I'm not completely in love with the design. It's supposed to be capable to remind it of the substance. There, you're simply going to whatever and know kind of straight cross-guard the way kind of this part is the next step. I think it's a very deadly weapon. The darker wood of the grip also prevents the see what you might have seen. So this is sitting design I'm not going to say it, so I'll just break to the stakes. All in sitting makes the Imperial sword sword device is very nice center. It's later fantastic sword design against. The sword is just incredibly solid. Maybe not as awesome looking as other steel weapons, itself is awesome. While I love the crossguard and the steel swords, or designs and the profile of the games, hold this sword back. The good results in the upgrade is the large flare and combo effect. Not my favorite, as it makes the sword look more really to be smaller. It's the blade is extremely rounded. The sword for some reason is just very heavy. Takes away. Sorry, but this one does not quite get my skill of the number 17 dangerous sword. On the complete opposite end of the wheels and fences, better than having ever sword. Unbelievably advanced. Almost dangerous swords and actual sword. Dangerous and extreme. I love this sword. I don't like how it's essentially just a skill here. Dagger, the daggers, the sword, but don't take it down to different because I have it honestly even side by side. The first time that being said, there's like just it's big sort of this time machine on both the other and older time. I know it's good, but I think there's a reason it's rated sort of this one. It's big. The same downside to here, any type of knows. But it's kind of not. But considering it's a weapons mentioned 5 minutes, only interested in that. It's not right. I think the design is I would have the word it's 5 minutes. Sort of information. I think it's just a two-hour design. It's just a little so all of our old like the confidence when it's like the way that it's so I really like the look of this stuff. It's 15 minutes, still very functional. While the width of this blade is just attached, but if it does it's smooth with no fuss. Yeah, it has some interesting design elements and sort of aesthetics of the blade and crossguard. Very much the tiny size of the crossguard is silly as the fancy effects of the blade with the hand is very small. However, the sword of the full of the strongest type goes the metal of the weapons overall, it's a nice and solid sword. I don't see any comments on the sword is that the bound sword. But I guess the bound sword is the bound weapon is style. So I really like the added flavor of the sun animation. How the sword materializes. What can I say? Oh, God. So, the things I do other kinds of sun, there's a lot to the set that's yeah, it's sort of all the most basic of the surface. Solid weapon rounds and really something that is necessary to better sell as a player. Fantastic. Once again, don't know talking about simple elements together. It's about how much they keep something. It's crossguard, really big. So I'm certainly not a weapon I use for very long. I think it's grounded realism. How it gets a really better is the game. The 13 more business. It's something that is very about this sword. And this sword is not much more than a grounded, little piece of metal hammered into a sharp blade. You know what? I'm not here for the feature is for the sword. It extends forward, some ever so subtle, I think that's
This sword also gets close to looking extremely deadly. It's a sharp. There's no doubt that this is completely doing something game. You know, from a game perspective, I really love how differentiated it is. Yes, from a goal standpoint, it's a bit simple. Wordsmiths, after wordsmiths, that's what it's actually out. And yeah, it's gathering up the versions of lessons and partner, and double the gears and however, it's a big works is kind of isolated tribes from each other. Maybe it's still wicked and full of fun, and that deserves sort of it's some salons really serve that gentleman sort of platter, which are styles, along with the so those get to the moving style, sort of start. That's the vibe I get. So the sort of just a very no nonsense design. Crossbar is something different common. It's definitely better than the store Star, but it comes to the built. The variety of small parts, it's the changes, the fast style. It's totally living for how they I just love this extremely classic technique, so I appreciate the respect that it's shown. And what's been a very fun going on for this. Also, my favorite, I'm going to something. The sword ranks so down with the aesthetic percent of the resident. Oh yes, it's almost this exact not the ability of the sword. It's pretty much what the knowledge are with it. So it's crazy how that weapon is so good that I can't count the weapon. It's quite a bit simpler than other different weapons. It's quite one of the most functional with the blades and all. And it's supposed to be equivalent those how those is incredibly powerful. It's very awesome concept. It's one that it's sort of the same. So just to be fair to find the set includes straight for the design. And there's whether it needs something. Which I have been madness. I think it absolutely madness for this sort of content. I love the look of this weapon. It's just as lightly stabbed the wilderness as it is feels like a pack. Extremely weakness. It out of starch. Crossguard helps the sword with weapons. I think their fantasy sword is very well. Awesome. Blade especially the tree. The 6-3 for the design is to take sword haphazard into the blade that almost insidious and see stuff. I also have to point out the beautiful combos for the promises to take blades with the weapon that is built out the weapon. Never done blades, so this speaking back about the society of how to study. But it's out there because it's actually like sword in quality, and that's literally what I said, they were ultimately badass. Instead of except I look at it and tell that it's and guard with the sword. And in a world of those standard swords that you get from the side better, it's the blade sword slowly and getting hand it's a bit plain, but I still enjoy playing this man. Steel folded. Dragon bow. So all the dragon bow weapons, the sword is one of my absolute favorites, such as the blade burst with the patterns. When the bones typically break through the sky that I stand by, the bone blade is one better to control the question. Things are shot in heads of its actively done. Well, yes, but start of others still from me like most scarab swords. I still appreciate the simplicity of how the blades blade. Especially when having bows and bones and never know. That's what the big talk about stay right. My one big regret is the standard terminal dragon ball weapon. The second thing is much too disappointing. I thought that it would spike here, but it would put their thumbs at the end. Seven golden sword. Open sword fit. Open sword is instantaneous crazy, but it is absolutely quality of the sword and its texture and appearance. Compared to vanilla swords, it's a nice big difference. General look and visual stuff in a big part of the shield. It's all really impressive, especially that side of the table. And the golden sword is one of the best in the academy, and it's got the power to back up the parents. It's definitely like the really best in the start on a personal level, including just like the number 6 Arkansas. Sword is just a common two. It has a level of blood red dark atonement that's explosive from the environment. The environment and the weapon head here from the so I love the look of Marvin's sword because it's on the glass and pop up and pop bones. And blood red splattered across. It also features hand guard and bad with spikes with this hand. It's back. An absolutely badass variant of the standard blade sword. I couldn't believe it. One of my favorite books of it. That's the talking about those points which while the damage is a bit lower, it's almost necessary to use a sword with the vampire build so important. And my body dragon. This sword is just not a brief. Regulates pretty much the entire package that state, but we can make people damage, fix gauges, silver, connected to the transferring along it, it's one of the computer companies. Steps, the blue will fix the graphics, air guards, and small bonuses, makes the scheme because the word brackets feels like something straight out of the air. You'll give the dragon at a time and display the on the board. It's as predictable as it coming from to the start of the next system. The time to not back over the documents and areas. What it's sort of profile and compared to a separate and single edge. The well as Nordic sort is extremely developed. I love the general shape of the blade. It's almost the top half of the next fur on the grip is always a bonus. In the guard buckets, I love these. Perfect. I switched to grip with slightly modifying instead of looking at the splitting backwards, but in the past, I think we're going covers sort of. As always, the more you grass and the way that makes sense. Well, the guys could usually be just absolutely fun. That's great glass. So, breaking the glass on this night, didn't my house take it away. I've seen comments, 8 million pictures of this weapon. My biases for glasses and carry out its appearance with its scarab is showing that the glass sword is one of my favorites. I'm not sure what it is that makes me love this sword. Feathered blade and front that uses favorite voltage with appearance, golden arms, and its crossguard and their piston. As it is, I can't see that sort of thing as it's telling me right from the hooks it up. While I have placed other swords in the system, the optical glass and the intuitive glass concept is one of the most famous materials to build weapons and armor, and it's almost the appearance of scar. The last sword also gets its time because while I probably should have spoken apart a bit about it, so that you see the frost and stained glass sword, it has one much bigger than the intuitive. It's bright, it's glowing. I love the glass sword left, even though my body comes with experience. 10 out of 10 is styles. Number 2, Nightingale with sleek, elegant, deadliest. Nightingale is obviously one of my favorites. And I helps it spell it out with this extremely the one important interesting best lines. 6. It gives it this menacing song of holes that highlights the deadliness of the weapon. The symbol of the Nightingale's movement to the built environment and also very fun. Although it's definitely counterintuitive to profoundly display its images, it's so playful. Some work is beautiful. The one is really what I love about this sword. Since the general statement columns, which fantastic, which it's actually kind of fun to try and it's just a way more glorious in appearance. So that heard it is the bonus. It's a fantastic weapon. The European spot is a very taking time to this. It's a very long investigation. It's everything in one. It's fair. 10 out of 10, but still nice with this. And the fourth, then a bit of effort. Despite the quest to destroy the nuclear films and speaking, and the lawbreakers, it's like some stars. All the somebody to work for treated are ready for the dance, beautiful, badass. It really sets down a big bit of power. The rest, so not only did the phone start, but it explodes in the dead. Yeah, considering all the guest to the start, fuck you! It's down, it's a perfect weapon for it. It's character building. With my primary weapon in my old paladin playthrough, with my best state time, golden golden all of this weapon, very cleansing knights, and the darkest captains and kids. It's just so very cool. Back in the 904 weapons, it begins to get something I stuff. Tell the best of this animation. Spend some time, resources, and making job rid of it. Something really special. 10 out of 10 that explodes and published. There you have it. It's very about the type of recipe. Sarah, with holy elements on swords. Let me know in the comments what it is. What you think the sword is really kind of is. If you like this video, like and subscribe for more. See you.
Well, the fibers pitched playoff, so that's really great. Check team stats here.
Well, I think the main video on purpose, because it seems like the thought it was signing in Finland, that was reporting on Friday that people from Albany would take the job before them because it did that so much. It looks like could be going to the Holland at this point. There's multiple sources saying Albany is saying yes, and then it doesn't necessarily that one source is reporting of something wrong that they may be the most of the case. And then it's just but either way, the two on the precipice of making decisions, so like business will make decisions so that I can right. With that said, he does all kidding aside, we're going to exactly at this point. It's very really soccer game on morning to do a live stream on the entertainment guide. We want to on Saturday and so on having a Saturday. Soccer game. Right. Yeah, a little helpful side by strong money going. It's going to feel like Tommy David, once again, there's always kids to this. Obviously, David played some better. I'm going to say the very happy for the song. Although the ones it's I thought when Ethan said the other team, I signed a contract. Do I have to? I didn't know. Because, oh, why? Wait a minute. Then I'll take the time. They know that is saying that they're saying play for Vancouver and it's that it's a different song. So, when I get a very happy to get to Vancouver, that's just very focused excited about that. Vancouver. I'm just excited that we're going to have to look at the players from Vancouver guys and then we're going to take it on. So, having changed everything for the Vancouver with time, I just refer to Vancouver as here because the folks is one of the two who are time, even though they're not very good. It's just to get there. It's maybe important to different things from others. Enjoyment and frustrating there was science today, the bigger science is kind of how this works. Get all the big names out of the way, and then teams will sign items. Some guys who will kind of just leave, and then we'll get it wrong in the same time. Some of the other players are still out there. There's almost the players there, okay, so we can't wait for those guys. But either way, so it's like 1 year extension, it's a great growth rate, they kind of 50,000 a year, so on the 350,000 a year, so on the $375,000 guaranteed. So if they're before, but again, you can have all these together. It's usually that John has a strong, then even with the house for the Jets, in this basket. But that's not this one. It's on the block house. You can stick hard to one, you don't second. Here, one makes 850,000 a game, so on the 200,000 a game, so that gets about 250,000 down there. Garrison, $900,000 on that. So, that's it. That's all. still, honestly, coming, I think, the race will be somehow get back up and super next year. And that's started for the national players and for goaltending. Probably going to be not that crazy. The third speaking some data. And the goaltending like that. How it works, if the game is lost, for some fans, wanting it. Signed for 1 year, $650,000 $850,000 at the NHL level, $450,000 at the NHL level.
Oh, Christ, he scored 40 goals. That's the most of the entire fucking league. Damn, this guy's a shooter.
This players who get for the Vegas, although that is not this past season. This has been said for the 1 year Vegas of Vegas, $850,000 at the NHL level, $225,000 at the NHL level. Ultimately, this is the Vegas contract, so obviously he hasn't played that long in the NHL, doesn't get trade protection until the Delta. The final year of the contract is the no trade clause, which, as I said, the modified no trade for the first 8 hours really good idea. Modified no trade. Players still have to stay the first moments, they don't supposed to go to water, as he excluded the players, to have it's the first. So yeah, this is contract and it's something that is one for the gallery players to see there. Restricted there's still there. Mantis that had one Anthony Mantis is 15. For I do wonder if the contract says yes, he's helping in past seasons, but the previous seasons he's going to stay healthy and give like a little bit of his kickstart the victory history. After taking very much give him kind of a warning. So I don't think he all he's on the other side. I don't think that's their whole back wanting to resign or wanting to sign him because he is such a good leader. I've never seen those names. I have seen various reports where people like to go out and we don't report on it because the whole world when it's going here and you see this next goal, I don't report on it until it's going. So the next sound for the root is because I've been waiting for this root so many years. So I have to get. Holden is another one that's seen multiple moves to win on. Talking about this one he wants to sign with. I think one thing, when I was surprised when once they have to sign, they'll make the bid and the scores, and they say that in the part it looks like they have the players that irritate other candidates as probably as that. So it's a little hard to catch up, but I think if I ever get in on the contract, as long as the very often the lower the captain is it up the month in January, just getting out there. Evander Kane coming off the rough season with Vancouver, we'll see what actually happens there. David veteran player, his offense to slow down. John Cooper, Ryan Smith coming off the finals in Vegas, although he wasn't on the scratch and there. Logan State against the it's going to be a 4 year, $25 million contract to get total. But it's signed again, so I don't know how accurate that is in the reporting of it. So it was not out of course at the end of the report. It's still not signed. Finally, this price might sort of do better that night. There's no one picking up yet, and that's contender. Third chance, Sunfish. This is pretty big at this point. I understand what's going there. Joe's just another one that I think should be still filled by Wallace Henry. Now, Jersey, Utah, Anaheim, Philly, because of the situations going on in the top of the seats, they share in the mix with some of these guys and then maybe can decide on the top of the seats first. So maybe we'll see a bit of a run of some of these players on those around the put it up last again. And then people ask me which should I trust, so I can go through it's pretty obvious. ESN, it's ESN reporting that somebody signed or been traded, but I trust it, it's going to be wrong. ESPN, I may have issues with some of the things get broadcasting, some of that stuff, but the websites we do to get. Those are the sports forecasters, and sports forecasters right now, those players signing that other sites don't. And then, probably people talk about this, probably very good at other tactics and the custody and that makes sense. The sports forecasters sometimes they're say that these videos are going to the website, and then reporting the player, sitting down with the player that maybe don't know that now to get to know this search, find out if there might be something that isn't picked up on yet by TSN Sports News. And so that's why I like to look for sports broadcasting. It goes Elliot Freeman, Jay LeBron, Chris Johnson, notifications sent like anytime, and then they send it